What's up everyone, Kaze no What If is here with What If a Soul was sent into One Piece verse. Before we start, if you like the video, like it, share with your friends, comment, and let's start the video. Nope, still don't own One Piece. Also not the greatest fanfic, this bite still owns that title for me. Also we do a lot of random things here if you haven't noticed. I don't like to follow the arcs completely, I like to do my own changes. A day early, but that's because the next chapter will be hard to write, so I rushed through this one. I'll need the extra day to finish it on time. Responding to comments. No Irene, you a real person bro? Doesn't really matter, I'll respond either way since I said I would. Others, here's another chapter, let me know if you got questions. Some of what I write is confusing as hell, simply cause the story follows my whims. Now for the story. Out on the open sea with a man who couldn't stop complaining. I'm starving. Luffy complained. Kuragari laughed. Well, maybe if you two didn't devour all the food on the first day you wouldn't have this problem. How can you be so calm about this? If this idiot gets his way, we'll starve, way before he becomes Pirate King. Zoro shouted. No. You'll starve. Kara and I have no need for food. Then why did you help eat it? Zoro asked. Just because we have no need for it doesn't mean we don't enjoy it. I reminded him. I'm starving. Luffy repeated. Kara and I hopped out the small boat and began walking behind it. Hey Kara, how long do you think it would take till Zoro slashed him? We both know that's not happening. A man can dream, can't he? At that moment Luffy's hat was blown away by the wind, and after grabbing it he began explaining his past to Zoro. Kara, you never fully told me about your past. You mind telling me what it was like? Kuragari looked up, reminiscing on what happened in her life. Well, a little girl ran down the halls of a traditional Japanese dojo. She came across a room with huge sliding doors which she slammed open. Father. Father. I'm 10 now, that means I can finally start training, right? Yes, of course. Her father laughed. You'll be the strongest member of the Asakura clan when I'm done with you. Yep. And when I'm stronger than everyone, I'll make sure to protect you guys. Kuragari ran out the room giggling and celebrating. Hold on. You still haven't picked your path. Her father, Koji, ran after her. Once inside the training room, there was a large group of children all standing in the middle of the room. Koji spoke up. There are 7 paths for a warrior to take, you all will choose one of these paths. Please take a look at your options carefully, the paths are as follows. Ashigaru, though you will be much weaker than the rest, this group is well regarded and a necessity, you will be a foot soldier of every war. Your training will be much shorter and you can start your life as a warrior much earlier than the other paths. Samurai, by far the most well-known and prominent of our paths. You follow the path of the sword and follow a noble code. Before a fight you must announce your name and fight without disgrace, a graceful warrior who honors enemies and allies alike. Waka, this is the path of a pirate, you will be targeted by the government but in exchange will help your country. Your job is to raid small islands and retrieve supplies for our island. So hey, this is the path of a monk, you fight to defend, never to attack. You use the Naginata to stay back defending your island as powerful warriors. Though not as prominent as a samurai, they could easily beat one in a straight fight. Yamabushi, the path of a mountain monk, you give up your worldly pleasures in exchange for power. The Yamabushi are masters of a strange energy, allowing them to become one of the most fearsome fighters. You master spiritual force, allowing you to beat an enemy with nothing more than a glance. Though allowed to use weapons, most prefer combat with their fist. Ninja/kunoichi, this path is one of assassination and espionage, you train with a short sword, daggers, and shuriken. A class for quickly killing any enemy as long as you have the element of surprise. Ronin, a samurai without honor, you will be trained in the path of power. You have no moral code, your only job is to dispatch enemies to the island. Fighting dirty is allowed, learn to trick your opponents and win by any means necessary. Archer, the path of the archer, destroy your enemies from range. The safest kind of warrior but not one without honor. The kids split up going to the 7 corners of the room all picking their own paths. Kurogari chose the path of the kunoichi while her 3 friends chose samurai, Yamabushi, and Sohei. Sohei Asakura chose the class that corresponded with his name, was a huge fan of a pirate by the name of Whitebeard who also wielded the naginata and wanted to follow after him. Bree was always a fan of samurai, vowing to one day make it Wano. She chose the path of a samurai. She's from Skypiea, a birka that escaped to the East Blue with her mother at a young age. Nijuyu Asakura, a fan of hand-to-hand combat and a particular love for all people. He chose the path of a Yamabushi. He vowed that he'd make a place free of discrimination for everyone to live happily. A main weakness of his being ranged combat. 5 years passed by, images of brutal training and conditioning to prepare them for anything. The girl had grown into a teen. At 15 she was already a master kunoichi. However, on that day the strongest and most noble of the 4 factions were taken in by the Marines to take down a man who was soon to be an emperor. A man by the name of Shanks. A year later the island got word of the death of all those masters. Unfortunately they had sympathized with Shanks, believing in his vision. Because of this, the Marines had all of them executed by Akainu. The Marines used this as an example, saying that anyone who sympathizes with a pirate will die. After another year, panic struck the clan. The Robin and Waka factions teamed up with a pirate by the name of Joke and slaughtered the entire clan, including the girl's father, who gave her a fruit instructing her to eat it. In the assault the girl escaped with her 3 friends running into town, being chased by Joke. A large explosion was heard from their temple as they ran through the forest. At some point the small group split up and Joke killed her for the first time, causing her to reappear on a cliff 24 hours later, growing stronger but more psychotic each time she died. She had no idea what happened to her friends, but the next time she challenged Joke he would kill her again. However, the next day I was told that Joke was gone, and after losing my purpose I wanted to end it all. I took my own life, but not even that stopped the cycle of my reincarnation. You were told that these fruits appeared the day you entered this world. However, that only applied to your fruit. My father found my fruit the day I was born. All you did was bring more power to it. Kurogari finally finished her story before looking up and smiling. I'm happy I didn't die on that day. If I hadn't found you or my new purpose, I would have been wandering aimlessly. I want to find new power. I want to try and find my friends, and one day I'll take down the cruel gods that did this to my clan. At that moment my phone rang. I picked it up, placed my AirPod in my ear and tossed one to Kurogari. On the other end was Kojika. I had nothing to do with the death of your clan, so don't come after me. Okay, bye now. Kojika hung up and me and Kurogari looked at each other before laughing. Well, I guess she's in the clear. Let's go. We ran back up to the ship, rejoining Luffy and Zoro, as Luffy finished his story about Shanks. Just more detail to Kurogari's past and a perfect chance to fix a few mistakes in my writing. I said at some point, forgot when, that Kurogari's fruit appeared when mine did, but then that wouldn't have explained her multiple deaths to Joke or how she got the fruit. Also, those warrior things were like the 7 main paths of feudal Japan, so I used it. Luffy looked up in the sky, spotting a bird. A bird. He looked back down at Zoro, a big smile on his face. Let's eat it? Huh? How? Zoro asked. Leave it to me. Gum gum. Aw shit, I forgot about this part. I whispered to Kurogari. Huh? Rocket. Luffy shouted, flying off the boat. So that's how. Zoro said calmly. Eventually though he noticed Luffy wasn't coming down. That's when Luffy shouted, help. Zoro immediately began rowing the boat. Moron. What the hell were you doing? Kuragari jumped out of the boat. Hey, should we be worried? Nah, Luffy will be fine. I told her as I jumped out to walk next to her. But what if he gets into some kind of trouble? She asked. Fine. I'll go after him, you keep Zoro on track before he starts heading in the opposite direction. I used Shadow Walk, disappearing from sight as I followed the bird. On the island. Get back here. Give that chart back, you damn woman thief. Nami was being chased by a small group of pirates when she heard screaming from up above. Looking up, she saw a falling Luffy that crashed directly in front of her. What? Luffy? A person fell from the sky. The pirates stared in disbelief as the smoke cleared, revealing an uninjured Luffy. Now I'm safe. Luffy stood up. That was a pretty neat experience I had. A few things were going through Nami's head at the moment. Asterisk, why did he just fall out of the sky? Wait, if he's here that means Jay is too. Fuck, I owe him 25 million now. Oh well, I'll make use of this. Asterisk. Nami ran up behind Luffy. See, Captain. You came to save me. She shouted loud enough for the pirates to hear. Hey Nami. What's going on? Luffy asked. Just cooperate with me for now, I'll tell you later. She whispered. Sorry, but they're all yours now. She ran off, leaving Luffy there to watch. His eyes strayed down for a bit as he stared, but he immediately snapped out of it. Asterisk, that was weird, why did I look as she ran? Asterisk, he asked himself. Hey. The girl got away. One of the pirates complained. That's okay. Her boss is still here. Another said. Ah. Trying to cover for your crony, huh? Say, is there any place to eat around here? Luffy asked innocently. Quit screwing around, kid. The larger pirate swung, hitting Luffy in his face, knocking off his hat. Luffy pulled his arm back, punching the guy and sending him flying. He then caught his hat, putting it on, shadowing his eyes. Don't touch my treasure. Bastard. The two shouted, rushing him. A flash of black appeared in front of Luffy. Shadow break. The two pirates were sent flying into a wall, knocked unconscious. Hey Luffy. Nami rushed out from behind the building, stopping in front of us. Hey guys, how about helping me for a bit? I'll get you guys some food. Luffy's eyes turned to stars. Okay. I shook my head. I'll help, but only because Luffy is good. He doesn't remember the money I owe him. Asterisk. Nami smiled. I'll let her think I forgot about the money. At least until Logtown. Asterisk. I smiled back. On the other side of the island, in a white carnival-like building, a man sat with a frown on his face. They still haven't caught that thief? A man with blue hair and a clown nose asked. This was Buggy. A girl named Niru approached. They should be pursuing her as we speak, Captain. How did the map get stolen so easily in the first place? Huh? Buggy asked. Just when we were about to enter the Grand Line and go on a rampage. Sorry Captain, my devil fruit caused me to fall asleep while I was guarding the map. She must have snuck in at that time. Niru told him calmly. What did you say? Buggy asked threateningly. I fell asleep. Sorry Captain. Niru replied. God damn it. Niru. Why do you always fall asleep when doing something important? I apologize, Captain. However, I believe we can dispatch these foes quite quickly. Niru explained. You said I should detach my nose quickly? Buggy shouted. No sir, I said we could dispatch the foes quickly. Niru said, still with a flat expression or at all scared of her captain. You think my nose is fake? Nope. Like a clown in a circus? Once again, no. One of Buggy's limbs detached, going straight for Niru. Neru's face showed no change as she pulled a scythe out of thin air and slashing the limb into small pieces, forcing Buggy to recall it. "Calm down, Captain, we'll retrieve the map," Neru said as she let the scythe vanish. "Fine. See that you retrieve that map, or else all of our subordinates will die," Buggy said as he walked away again. Neru smiled. "You heard the man, find the map or you all die." The surrounding pirates saluted. "Yes, ma'am." In a house downtown, Luffy stuffed a huge burger into his mouth. "Do you live alone in this house?" Luffy asked. "I don't live in this town," Nami told him. "Everyone here ran away because of Buggy." "Then you're a pirate thief?" Luffy asked. "How rude. I'm not like you guys. I'm a thief who only steals from pirates. Don't compare me to those asshole pirates," Nami explained. "But you're still a thief," Luffy stated. "Also, didn't you steal from the marine base?" I asked. "Seems pretty pirate-like to me." "I'm not a pirate," she shouted. "My goal is to earn 100 million berries, no matter what it takes. Stealing from marines automatically would have made you a wanted pirate if you were caught." I told her. "What do you need that much money for?" Luffy asked. "It's a secret." Nami turned away, clearly not wanting to talk about it. "Money, huh? Maybe a ransom." I calmly watched as she slightly flinched. "No. It's nothing like that," she shouted. "Pity, we would have helped you. Especially if it led to a strong fight," I said. "I'm traveling to the Grand Line. With this map 100 million is a real possibility." "Grand Line? We can help you. You can't expect to survive in the Grand Line as weak as you are. Even if you're a navigator," Luffy told her. "I'm much better than an average navigator. I'm the greatest navigator in the world." Nami stood proudly. "Really? You should be our navigator then," Luffy offered. Nami frowned. "I'm sorry, Luffy, but I refuse to be a pirate." I laughed. "Still holding on to your hatred of pirates, huh? We've already traveled together, you know we're not like the others." Nami smiled. "True, I can see that. With a captain like this I can't see you guys doing anything to harm innocent people. However, I have a goal that I have to complete, I can't join until I've accomplished it." Luffy smiled. "Alright. Then how about you join now and we promise to help you when the time comes," he offered. Nami took on a thoughtful look. "Alright, but I still need 20,000,000 in order to accomplish this goal." I smiled. "There's one way to accomplish that easily." "Really, how?" she asked. "Two options. 1. We take down Arlong, his bounty is 20 million. That will solve the problem immediately. Or we could go with option 2. The mention of his name caused a flash of fear to take over her entire being. We can't do that one." "What's option 2? She asked, trying to remain calm. "Kill me, then turn me in. Give my body to the Marines. They'll take 20% because I'm dead, but it's the easiest way to make the rest of the money quickly," I replied calmly. Nami looked shocked and Luffy was immediately angry. "No. You're the co-captain. I'm not gonna let you die for a plan," he shouted. Nami smiled. "I appreciate it, but I can't kill someone just to help myself." I laughed again. "You guys, there's something I haven't told you. I can't die. After death I come back in 24 hours. It's a side effect of my devil fruit." Their looks changed to one of surprise. "Even if that's the case, I won't kill you for this. It's too risky. You might need to die in front of some Marines later. I'll make the money on my own." "Fine, there's one other way," I offered. "As long as it doesn't involve fighting I can handle it." Nami said. Simple, we just rob all the pirates we come across. If you travel with us you'll meet a lot more. I told her. I held out my hand as she shook it. Alright. Let's do it. Good, that means the first person we're robbing is Buggy. Nami was scared but decided to trust us. Right? Alright, we'll come up with a plan then. Luffy and Nami came to sit next to me as I began to explain the plan. What? Buggy shouted. The thief got away? The three men started cowering in fear. Please forgive us, Captain. All three of you are pathetic. Die flashily. Buggy's hand detached from his body, soaring at the three as Neru appeared behind one, about to offer his blood to her fruit. Captain Buggy. A man who kinda looked like a circus monkey came running up to stand in front of his captain. What is it? Buggy asked, annoyed. That thief from earlier and her captain has been captured by a man I think you'd want to meet. He told him. What? Who? Buggy's words cut off as he looked where the man pointed, seeing a man with dark energy radiating from his very being. His eyes black and unforgiving with a cocky smirk. Wraith Emperor J. Buggy whispered. Neru looked up, interested. So this is the man that recently escaped a large-scale marine attack. I heard they're still processing his new bounty. Buggy the Immortal. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I have a gift for you. I shoved Luffy forward. If you don't mind, I'd like to keep the girl for myself. You know how it is. Buggy smiled. Yes, of course, just make sure you keep it consensual. Experts like us have standards, no need to take a girl when they crawl all over powerful men like us. I nodded. You know the nature of a true pirate. I see your time in the Grand Line taught you a lot. And you, the man who traveled all four of the blues. Not many can say they did the same, including some top pirates. Buggy praised. Well, the map has been returned and the thieves were captured. I think this calls for a celebration, don't you think? Buggy's smile grew wider. Let's all celebrate flashily. Neru's eyes narrowed. Asterisk, this man is up to something. If he wasn't, why would he show up in a partial transformation? As a Zoan type myself, I can tell asterisk she decided she'd keep watch for anything strange. I walked up and took a seat across from Buggy. I put one of my legs up on a stool nearby, letting the other rest on the floor. Sitting in my chair like my title suggested I would. I pulled Nami to me, placing my arm around her waist and pulling her into my chest, causing her some slight embarrassment and a lot of anger. What the hell do you think you're doing? She whispered. Only way to keep you from getting crowded by these random pirates, just act like you enjoy it. I told her. Nami growled, clearly not wanting to, however she's had a lot of experience in acting. She drew closer, letting her head rest on my chest, getting as comfortable as possible. I'm getting 75% of the treasure, she said, leaving no room for argument. That's fine, I whispered. Asterisk, I'll get it back eventually, I thought. Buggy smiled, holding out his glass to me. I see you're a man who knows how to party. I knocked my glass against his before smiling. What can I say, I'm the Wraith Emperor. I get a lot of practice. Buggy leaned forward. Just between us, what's your favorite thing in the world? My favorite thing? That's quite simple, it's all about power. With enough power all of existence will bow to me, I told him. Buggy nodded, partially accepting the answer. Yes, power is a wonderful thing. However, all it's truly about is treasure. With enough money, power will come with it. Money can't buy you everything, Buggy. The best of the best can't be bought with money, only respect. You got it backwards. With enough power you can possess all the money this world has to offer, I explained. Yes, that's true. That means you're going after the One Piece. However, all the pirates in the world are gunning for that treasure, because of that I've decided I'd possess all the treasure on the map. Why risk my life for a treasure that might not exist? Buggy asked. Risking your life is the mark of a true pirate. It seems your time in the East Blue has weakened you. Besides, you know that treasure exists, don't you, cabin boy? I smiled as Buggy's face contorted to anger. Watch what you say, Wraith Emperor. He threatened. Or what? Clown? I asked. From inside my arms Nami began to panic. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Are you trying to get us killed? Nami whispered. This is straying from the plan, you know. Matter of fact, you haven't stuck to the plan since we got here. Don't worry. I whispered back. Buggy began laughing. Ehehehe. This is the first time someone so flashily disrespected me in a while. I like you. Men, prepare a special buggy ball. He shouted. The buggy pirates began celebrating even louder as they rolled in a cannon and a ball. The circus monkey-looking pirate carried in a red cannonball with Buggy's logo on it, placing it in the cannon. All set, sir. Special buggy ball? This may just be interesting, a cannonball with massive power. I whispered to Nami. What's about to happen? She asked out loud. Observe the might of the buggy ball. He said to Nami before addressing his men. Light it? The fuse lit as the sound of burning fuse hit the air. Nami watched with bated breath. I sat in wait, happy to see a display of power. Besides, I already knew there was no one out there that would be hurt. A loud noise erupted in the clearing as the cannon left the barrel. At that moment I heard a voice over the link. Hey Jay, IMA, go ahead and stop this cannonball. Cool. Cool asterisk, Kuragari said. A flash of light appeared in the sky intercepting the cannonball. The ball hit it, exploding, dealing damage to multiple buildings in the vicinity even though most of the power was absorbed. A figure fell out the sky, landing in front of me, heavily damaged and likely incapable of fighting for a while. Damn, that cannonball was more powerful than I thought. She immediately passed out on the spot. Zoro on the other side of the island. Huh? Where's Kara? Asterisk. Buggy smiled. Truly flashy. With buggy balls and devil fruit powers, no one can stop me. Not even this girl lying on the ground. Money may be the most important, but that doesn't mean I'm lacking power. What do you think, Wraith Emperor? I walked up to Kuragari to check if she was still alive. Luckily her pulse could still be felt. That was incredible. However, what should we do about the girl? Buggy laughed. Think of her as my gift to you. If she managed to survive that, she must be pretty powerful. Likely with a devil fruit that has a defensive attribute. So would you like to help me conquer the world? Luffy looked at Buggy. I'm the one who's gonna rule the world. What? Buggy threatened. I'm gonna be king of the pirates. Luffy told him. Really, bro? You just had to say it? I whispered to myself. Kids these days think they can do anything. Buggy said to me. Yeah. If he can become Pirate King, then I can be the strongest god. I said sarcastically. Buggy laughed at that before turning to Luffy. Look kid, I'm not even going for Pirate King yet, and I'm stronger than you are. If you wanna be the Pirate King, you have to be extremely lucky and extremely strong. Buggy turned toward me. I'll let you do the honors of blowing him away with a buggy bomb. If he survives, then maybe he really does deserve to go after the title. I smiled. Thank you, I would love to have that kind of power at my fingertips. Nami punched me in my stomach, though I barely felt it. Calm down Nami, I'm just sticking to a new plan. I whispered to her. I would love to have that power, Buggy, however I'd like to test this girl beside me. If she knows what it means to put her life on the line, then maybe I'll let her join me. Nami turned to me with a look of horror. Come on, all you gotta do is light the fuse, I said with a dark smile. I nodded to Luffy, seeing him nod back. Nami walked up to the barrel, staring into Luffy's eyes as a silent conversation passed between the two. Nami turned around, bowing to us. I refuse, I won't kill him. Buggy turned to me. Kill them, Jay. I smiled. That can be easily arranged. I walked up to the cannon, straining my Wraith energy to bring a Wraith clone beside Luffy. I lit the fuse and started prepping all my energy into my shadow and then transferring it to the Wraith clone for a one-time action. As the cannon fired, I whispered 2 words as the explosion shook the building. As the smoke cleared, a broken cage and an unharmed Luffy could be seen. Wraith's domain. I smiled, happy that I managed to use the move regardless of it wasting most of my energy. What? Buggy shouted. He's unharmed, how? He turned towards me. Did you do something? No, it seems that maybe he can go after the treasure. He survived the blast after all, I said calmly. Buggy snarled. Not if I have something to do with it. Men. Kill him. Luffy jumped up, his arms still bound. As the swords came closer, he began to dodge until one of them was slow enough for him to use. The sword went through the rope, setting him free. Luffy threw his arm back, using a gum pistol to take out the pirates in front of him. He ran up to Nami, grabbing her before running away. They were being pursued by the lesser pirates while Buggy, Neru, and I stood there. Kuragari had also disappeared at that time, which confused even me. She was definitely not well enough to travel. A man walked up, standing in front of Buggy. Captain, can I take Zoro's head? A polar bear-like man asked. No, you better stay here. They'll come back for the map. Go find Kabeji, we should prepare. Buggy told him. Luffy ran with Nami in his hands with an angry mob behind him. As he turned a corner, he ran past Zoro, who turned around and joined him. Running side by side, Zoro asked Luffy a question. What's up with Jay? Did he join the other pirates, and why'd he leave Kuragari behind? The girl in question was in Zoro's arms, completely unconscious. Jay said it was a plan, but the plan went wrong and now we're running. He's infiltrating Buggy's crew. Infiltrating, Luffy. Nami corrected him. Yeah, infamating. He said. I don't know why I even tried. Now can you two run a bit faster, we gotta get away, you know. Luffy and Zoro ran even faster. Eventually they came across a pet shop with a guard dog standing outside of it. Nami walked up to it, petting him. Luffy tried to do the same but was bit. A man came to them, he introduced himself as the mayor as they had a heartfelt conversation about the dog. Rumbling could be heard as a large crowd gathered in front of the store. Luffy walked out looking at the group. What do you want? He asked threateningly. Buggy sent us to take you all out, you're outnumbered. If you admit defeat you might just survive. One of the pirates said. Zoro walked out standing on Luffy's right. Nami walked over to stand on his left. Kuragari finally woke up and walked up to the three. You guys are gonna have to handle this group, I need time to heal my injuries and restore my energy. Luffy nodded. Us three can handle this. From behind Luffy the dog barked. Us four. The dog ran out, standing in front of Luffy, drawing its lips back in a growl. Instead of the crowd rushing in, they parted to reveal 5 figures. Buggy walked forward. I was going to wait for you to come back, but instead I've decided to come after you myself. So what? You plan on using all these people to overwhelm us? Nami asked. No, how about we make this more fun? We'll play King of the Hill. Jay suggested it. Buggy said. What's King of the Hill? Luffy asked, slightly interested. We both send out one or more fighter, the group that wins continues to fight until defeat. If my crew wins you must give up on being a pirate, if yours win I'll give you the map and our treasure. What do you think? A flashy competition for a great pirate like myself. Zoro smirked. I like this idea. How will we decide who goes first? Start with your weakest person and slowly go up as you're defeated. I smiled. That way everyone gets a piece of the action. Luffy and Buggy shook hands. Before we start, we might as well make sure no side goes back on their word. I walked over to Luffy's side. Sorry Buggy, but I'm going to participate on this side of the team. If we lose I'll join your crew. Buggy's eyes widened. So you're with them, huh? Fine. Since this is the case I say these rules before the mythical pirate, Davy Jones. If we go back on this agreement may he take our souls flashily. Do you agree, Jay? He tossed me a gun. I immediately threw the gun to Luffy. He's the captain, Straw Hat Luffy. I told him. Do you agree, Straw Hat? Buggy asked him. Yes, I agree. If we lose we stop being pirates and Jay joins your crew. He clarified. If I lose, I hand over all my treasure and the map. Buggy smiled menacingly. Then let the Davy back fight commence. Both captains shot the gun into the sky before taking a step back with their crews. Introducing the upper echelon of the Buggy pirates. Jay. Kuragari walked up to me before whispering in my ear. I need some time to restore my energy and I'm assuming you do as well. Can they hold them off? I looked over at Buggy's crew checking their strength. Buggy the Clown, Buggy Pirate, LV. 50. Strengths. Chop Chop Fruit. Advantages, can split his body into smaller pieces and control them all. Immune to all forms of cutting. Disadvantages, feet can't fly around like the rest of the body, reforming without all the body parts leaves you looking weird. Has many different blades spread throughout his body. Sleeping Niru, Buggy Pirate, LV. 50. Strengths. Hito Hito no Mi, Model, Sleeping Shinigami. Advantages, powers of a Shinigami, wields a scythe and has multiple death and sleep based abilities. Disadvantages, cursed by the god Hypnos, the user of this fruit falls asleep randomly. Sleeping heals the user and they can still fight while sleeping. Users can only die by drowning and execution under sea stone influence. Otherwise they fall asleep upon death. Waking up after being fully healed. Wields a scythe. Beast Tamer Moji, Buggy Pirate, LV. 40. Strengths. A man that never trained under Buggy originally. However, due to the involvement of Niru he trained to stay within the top of his crew. His grandmother was a mink. He has the whips she used all her life that was crafted with some of her fur. He's capable of using the mink's electricity though it's very low voltage at the moment. If he brings it any higher he gets hurt. I guess he probably threw out the whips or sold them before knowing what they did in the original. With Niru showing up, him getting stronger probably unlocked the ability before he threw it out. I thought. Fire Breather Kabaji, Buggy Pirate, LV. 40. Strengths. Had to stay ahead of Moji, so he trained in many ways of carnival skills. Picked up knife throwing and incredible flexibility. His sword was crafted with a Lunarian feather giving its light flame attributes as well as being extremely light and durable. Obtained the sword from a cave he traveled into during training in the woods. Damn, and his training led him to a sword that has to be extremely rare. There's only one Lunarian left and he joined Kaido's crew. One with a mink weapon and the other Lunarian. Seems this fight will be harder than I thought. They'll be hard to beat. I told Kuragari. However, they can hold them off while we recharge our energy. Kuragari nodded and took a couple paces back. She then sat down on her knees and began to float off the ground as she entered mediation. I took the spot behind her and sat crisscross before floating up with my back to hers. This is Xenoverse 2 meditation, the two variations are for male to female. Look it up if you want. Or check my second Instagram account, Wraith Emperor J. Nami vs. Randoms and Richie the Lion. Buggy gathered his group around explaining the game plan before calling to Luffy. Who will you send out first, Straw Hat? Luffy looked at the two next to him to see if any would volunteer. Eventually Nami stepped forward with the dog right beside her. Us two will handle the first fight, she told him. Buggy smirked. Alright then, I'll send in everyone except us four. The entire crowd of people and the lion stepped forward. Now remember, a round is considered over either when the enemy group is dead or when they admit defeat. Luffy grew angry. You're a coward, so many people against just two. Ehehehe. What do you mean, Straw Hat? It's your crew versus mine. It doesn't matter who we send out as long as it works. Buggy explained. Then I want to switch them out. Luffy tried. Buggy smirked. She's already stepped up, if she goes back it's the same as forfeiting the Davy back fight. She's not allowed to admit defeat for the first 10 minutes after all. Nami looked over to Luffy and smiled. Don't worry about it, Luffy, I can handle myself. After seeing you guys fight those Marines I trained a bit. Even without a weapon I should be able to handle some of them. Luffy glared at Buggy, speaking to Nami as he did so. Alright, but if they dare to kill you, I'll have to kill them all. Assuming you can. Buggy mocked. Attack, men. Luffy stretched his arms to go up on the nearest rooftop while Buggy flew up to watch on his own. Everyone except the two captains and the participants entered the pet shop to wait. For reference, we went to meditate in the shop, so we're already there. Buggy's feet were picked up by Neru, and even though we're in this shop together there isn't any fighting, just waiting for the captains to announce the end of the first round. Now for the fight. Nami immediately turned around and started running with Chaochu following behind her. Nami cut the corner, running down the alleyway looking around in her pockets for anything to use. The second she found something, she ripped off part of her shirt in preparation. The mob had split up, one going one way and the other following after her. As she vaulted over a stack of barrels she dropped a flaming piece of cloth that slowly spread over the barrels. The second the group began jumping over, the flames came into contact with the contents inside and exploded, taking that group out. She ran into a nearby house looking to take cover. Shishi. Looks like your crew is losing, Buggy. Luffy said from his place on the rooftop. Arg. What are those idiots doing? It's one person. I refuse to lose to that flashy girl. Buggy flew down to his remaining group. Hey you guys. You're apparently the only ones with a brain, make sure you catch the girl, if you don't, you'll have to answer to me. The remaining group consisted of Richie, Circus Monkey, the Tightrope Funan brothers, the acrobatic Fuwas, and the superhuman Domingos. A small group of 11, Buggy's main subordinates other than the three in the shop. Yes sir. They shouted, though Richie just roared. Richie began sniffing Nami out and leading the group to a nearby store. Should we enter? Circus Monkey asked. Let us go first, we're the weakest, if there are traps in there, it's better we set them off. The Tightrope leader said as he led the other two inside. The second he opened the door and stepped inside, they were covered with oil. From the stairs Chaochu jumped up with some burning wood in his mouth, throwing it at them and setting them on fire. The group stumbled out the house, falling to the floor as Circus Monkey threw water on them. Well, those three are out, who's next? He asked. The acrobatic Fuwas stepped up and marched into the house. Less than a minute later a loud bang was heard from inside the house. The final five rushed in to see the three knocked unconscious at the bottom of the stairs. Circus Monkey felt their clothes tasting the liquid that came off of it. It seems they slipped on oil and fell down the stairs. As they climbed the stairs, Chaochu jumped out, running out of the house. I'll go after him, you forget the girl. Circus monkey shouted, running after the dog. The remaining four made it to the top of the stairs. Richie's large figure had to squeeze through the door to the room Nami was supposed to be in. The superhuman trio saw her jumping out the window and decided to read the note she left on the bed. "Hey guys, I'll be back in front of the pet store." "Damn that girl." The bald head one crushed the note. "Let's go." Back at the store, Kuragari and I had finished our meditation and Kuragari was healing her injuries. "Hey Niru, why did you decide to join Buggy?" I asked her. Niru glared at me. "Why did you join that useless idiot Luffy? You're one of the chosen, right? You should know he dies in Logtown." I assumed the chosen were referring to the players that joined this multi-lobby of ours. "Guess we'll see, this world isn't like what we watched. It's a world where all the leaders have a story, we'll just have to decide whose story wins in the end." "Is that so?" "I assumed all the chosen read the story of the Pirate King Buggy." Niru responded. At that moment Nami crashed into the shop. "Hey guys, just coming to grab something." We all moved out the way, not able to come into contact or stop the participants. She grabbed 2 large boxes of some kind of plant and left the shop. We all decided to go see what happened. Once back outside she dumped out the contents and set one on fire closer to the shop while leaving the other pile a bit off to the side. Richie was the first to show up. He ran at Nami getting ready to bite off her head or eat her, can't really tell. However, right as he was about to secure the win, a scent tickled his nose, causing him to turn towards a large patch of the soft plant. Immediately he dashed over to it, rolling in it and inhaling the scent it gave off till eventually he passed out. Niru was clearly confused, as was Buggy, who flew down to the rest of us. "What the hell happened?" they both asked. I walked up to one of the plants, picking one up. This is catnip. She used it to make Richie high. It was definitely a gamble. There was a chance it wouldn't work on him depending on whether or not his parents enjoyed it. I explained. Buggy started stomping in frustration. "Damn it! We only have 3 people left." Moji walked over to Richie, picking him up and moving him to the side. An easy task thanks to his extra training. "Don't worry Richie, I'll get you some good food after this," Moji promised before going to watch the conclusion of the fight. The superhuman trio finally appeared. She took out Richie. One of them shouted, "That's fine, she can't hide behind that straw hat boy anymore. We'll take her out ourselves," another said. The superhuman trio surrounded her in a triangle formation. All at once the 3 men rushed her, ready to take her out. However, once they got close, Nami ducked, forcing them to hit each other, causing 2 of them to be knocked out and 1 to be dazed. She then kicked the dazed one in a very delicate spot, causing him to fall over, foaming at the mouth. "Damn Nami, that was a bit unnecessary, don't you think?" I asked. She turned to me, shrugging her shoulders. "Maybe, but we won, right?" Chowchu appeared, dragging the unconscious body of Circus Monkey behind him. Kuragari vs. Moji. Luffy stretched his arms, pulling Nami in for a hug, as he continuously praised her. Buggy, on the other hand, was raging in his frustration. "How did all of you idiots lose to one girl?" he shouted. "I should kill you for that. Luckily for you, Niru said I couldn't." Moji walked up to Buggy, bowing slightly. "I'll go next. I have to make them pay for taking out Richie in such a cowardly manner." "Fine, but if you fail me," Buggy warned. Moji walked into the middle of the street. "I'll be going next. Who's going to step up? I'm sure that girl is tired of fighting." Kuragari walked forward to meet him. "It's about time for me to go for a hunt. A strong beast like you will be the perfect candidate." I shook my head. If this is a story some random guy is writing, they really need to establish her personality. As it stands, it seems like they're just doing random shit. Moji smiled. I've been meaning to test these whips on an arrogant candidate. Let's see if I can tame humans as well. Kuragari rushed at him immediately, slashing at his neck, but was immediately wrapped by the whip and shocked before being thrown backwards. You'll never beat me, rushing in like a dumbass, Moji told her. Kuragari slammed into the wall, causing the wall to crumble around her. She stood up, dusting herself off before thinking of a plan to end the fight quickly. The sun had reached its peak, providing her with even more power. Kuragari ran at him once more, but as she clashed with Moji, sparks of electricity could be seen coursing through the whips. You should know there's nothing you can do. The second your blades come into contact with my whips, I'll light you up, Moji said confidently. Kuragari smirked. Fine then, I just won't come into contact with them. She sent the excess light into her legs and her blades, increasing both her speed and power but sacrificing defense. Moji lashed out with his whips, causing electricity to crack through the ground. Kuragari blocked and rushed at Moji, going for a high kick. Moji wrapped Kuragari's leg in the whip, preparing to toss her to the side again. She twisted out of the whips and sliced at Moji, who responded by jumping back. He tried hitting her once more, but she easily ducked under the attack and finally landed a slash across Moji's coat. Unfortunately, all she got was fur. Moji spun his whips, sending out a low wave of electricity. Kuragari jumped, but that was just what Moji wanted, as he sent out a larger blast, stunning Kuragari briefly. He attached the whips and caught Kuragari in a hold as electricity coursed through the whips. He began spinning the whips higher and higher. Electro! He shouted as the whips finally hit its peak. Hammer! He slammed Kuragari into the floor as the light dissipated from her form. Moji began walking off, celebrating his victory. Alright, who's next? He asked. Nami looked over at me from her spot in Luffy's arms. Hey Jay. Will she be alright? Ryahaha. If something like that was able to take her out, she wouldn't be a worthy partner. Kuragari hasn't even started trying yet, I told her. As the smoke cleared, Kuragari could be seen. The light she had used swirled around her, healing all her injuries as blood dripped onto her daggers. If you think a petty attack like that can stop me, you're wrong. Her hair changed color and her eyes flashed to yellow. I'm sorry, but my hunt isn't done yet. It's time I showed you the true power of a wraith. Moji turned around, a feral grin on his face. You want to fight a real beast, huh? I'm not the beast tamer because of these whips, it's because the one that roars the loudest is the one that rules. Moji wrapped his whips around his legs as electricity crackled through them, going up to his current maximum. He took out gloves from his pockets, ones with bare claws at its fingertips. He dropped, now on all fours, and an image of a polar bear appeared behind him. The fight blurred before Nami's eyes, specifically her, since everyone else could keep up. They struck blow for blow. Kuragari was moving faster and faster, with her wraith speed and spirit step combined as one. Moji grew more ferocious as the lighting around him grew larger. Wrath of the Wraith Empress, she shouted. I smirked. Totally copying me right now. Electro! Moji yelled. Charging at Kuragari. Dance. Light trap. She smirked as she jumped back and Moji charged right in. And now, light cage. Moji was trapped in a cage of light. Looks like you lost, she told him as she slashed him and he fell to the floor. I looked at Nami. Told you she would win. At that moment a whip shot out, wrapping around Kuragari. I promised Buggy I wouldn't lose. I plan to keep that promise, no matter what. Lighting lit up the clearing, shocking them both. Though obviously more Kuragari than Moji. As it ended, Moji fell to the floor unconscious. Kuragari, however, fell to the floor, dead. A wraith shot up from Kuragari's body and walked to stand next to me. I was the only one that could see her. You're a fucking dumbass, I whispered to her. I then deactivated Wraith World so I wouldn't have to hear her complain. As a wraith, Death doesn't mean much to us. We know we'll make it back, so the lack of emotion is due to knowing we'll see each other again in 24 hours. The others didn't yet know she was a wraith like me. Nami stared at the corpse in horror. Zoro gripped his blades and Luffy let go of Nami and began running at Buggy. I used Shadow Walk to appear in front of him. Calm down, Luffy. She's a wraith like me, she'll be back tomorrow. If you attack him now we'll lose and you can't become Pirate King. She'll kill you when she makes it back. Luffy and the other two were relieved though clearly pissed off. Buggy was celebrating to himself, saying something about how the tables have finally turned. Luffy glared at him before turning to Zoro. You can go next. Deal with them quickly. Zoro grinned. I plan to. Zoro vs. Kabeji. Zoro stepped forward smirking at Kabeji. Hey, let's not waste time here, I plan to get some payback for my crewmate over there. How about I finish this in 3 moves? What do you say? Zoro asked. Kabeji smiled. I like the way you think, you're the pirate hunter Zoro. I waited a long time to prove I'm the better swordsman. I'll finish this fight in 1. Kyakuji. Kabeji started. He breathed flames from his mouth, setting his sword aflame. Ituryu. Zoro prepped his one sword style. Lunarian's blade. Kabeji finished as he slashed out. Shishi Sunsen. Zoro shouted. The two finished their attacks and Kabeji fell to his knees, his legs had been cut. Zoro grabbed the second blade. I just named this move today, my inspiration being vengeance for a wraith. Zoro put them in a cross formation mimicking Kuragari's radiance form. Nidoryu. He dashed at Kabeji. Onryo. Kabeji's arms were cut off, making him drop his blade. Zoro pulled out his third blade, entering an iconic stance. Santuryu. His blades began to spin. Uji. He called as he began to move, making contact with his blades. Sanzen Sekai. Kabeji was cut across the chest, blood bursting from within. His eyes glazed and he finally fell to the floor, creating the second corpse of the day. Zoro walked up to the corpse, taking the blade from him. The blade lit up, it had found its true master. The blade was black and had belonged to a master long ago. Originally I wasn't going to take the blade or even kill Kabeji, but I decided that Kabeji wasn't needed for the future of the Buggy Pirates. Moji will be more than enough. The sword is based off an online image, check my Instagram to see it. Also, the reason Kabeji loses as fast as he does is because Zoro went all out from the start. Level difference of 8 means a lot. Departure. Buggy stared at Kabeji before turning to Neru. He's dead. Buggy whispered. Even though he was a ruthless captain willing to kill for insubordination, Buggy truly loved his crew. He had grown accustomed to the 4 that ran it with him. Richie, though greedy, was always joining in on the fun they had. Moji, though he never respected anyone outside of Buggy, he saw the rest of the crew like comrades. Neru, though she was the only one capable of insulting him and getting away with it, he liked her business-like attitude. Kabeji, competent and always completing the jobs Buggy gave him. He never strayed in his loyalty to him, nor did the others. To Buggy he wouldn't trade these 4 out even if they stayed weak and he one day became Pirate King. Now Kabeji lay on the ground, his body lifeless and cold. That sight awakened something in Buggy. Compassion. All his life all he cared for was his treasure. He took everything else for granted, he truly believed there was nothing more important in this world other than money. He never felt such emotion. Hatred, this was a hatred far beyond what he had for Shanks. He hated Shanks so much he could kill him, but this was far beyond that. He hated the Straw Hats, he wanted to watch them suffer slowly as they died. He was always known for his lazy demeanor, causing him to be the weakest of the Roger Pirates. Now he knew, his one goal wasn't Pirate King. It was the slow defeat of the Straw Hat crew. Buggy looked at Zoro. A large blast of pure willpower pushed everyone back, knocking out Nami. Neru's body fell to the floor before a blast of dark energy radiated from her, turning the ground to black. She stood up and in the place of her eyes was nothing but darkness as her scythe appeared in her hands. Her falling asleep granted her access to more of her abilities when in danger. If not in danger, she just falls asleep. My immunity to spiritual attacks meant it did nothing to me other than put pressure onto my body. Zoro stood his ground and Luffy glared back with equal intensity. "Alright, Straw Hat. You win. You can take the map, you can take all my treasure, however the next time I see you, mark my words, you will die." Buggy walked up to Kabeji picking up his freezing body. "You're lucky this was a Davy back fight. As a pirate I won't attack the winner, however if you're still here tomorrow I won't hesitate to kill you all. Even if I have to join you in death." The death of his comrade had increased his will, awakening his ability to use Conqueror's Haki. "Neru, when we get back, I need you to prep the ship. It's time the Buggy pirates set sail," he said seriously. Neru nodded in her sleep. Luffy walked up to Kurogari's body. "Hey Jay, do we take this with us? You said she'll be back tomorrow." I walked over, placing my hand on her corpse. "Nah, it's easier to destroy the corpse, she'll reform wherever she likes. She just has to go to that point," I explained before absorbing the shadow from her body as the corpse turned to dust. After that we took a quick rest until Nami woke up. We then went to Buggy's, he handed us the treasure and the map. As we left, the citizens showed up in front of the building with the mayor. "Hello, we'd like to thank you for your help. We found this and figured you might know what it is." The mayor revealed what was in his hand. A grape with weird swirls in it. I took one of the bags from Nami and gave it to the citizens before taking the fruit, smiling as I recognized one thing. There are no grapes that become devil fruits in this world. That means it was special in some way, probably part of a different series of fruits similar to me and Kurogari having the wraiths. Nami on the other hand wasn't so amused and immediately started yelling. "Hey! Why are you giving them some of my treasure?" she shouted. "They gotta rebuild their town, and besides this is priceless," I said holding up the fruit. "Well, if that's the case then the fruit is mine." She swiped it from my hands before popping it into her mouth. "Wait, idiot. I haven't explained yet. That's a devil fruit," I shouted as she swallowed the fruit. "Wait, what?" Nami asked, looking sick. The taste of the fruit had finally come to her. I face-palmed. "What part of priceless fruit did you not understand? I thought it was some kind of high-quality food item," she replied. "What do these things do again? You lose your ability to swim in exchange for special powers. What those powers are, I don't know. You'll figure it out, however now that you have them you better keep your navigation skills on point. Otherwise it's night-night," I told her. "What?" Nami whispered to herself. "Oh well, can't turn that back now. Let's go," I told them as we all left back towards the ship. Nami remained silent the whole way. I wonder how Jason is doing. Did he start his journey the way he wanted to? Asterisk, I thought to myself. New abilities. J. Wraith clone, a simple clone of myself capable of completing a single action. The clone can't be seen without observation or energy of an undead. Wraith's domain, the move that Nada's used on me in Chapter 3, blocks interaction from the outside world. The longer it's up the more energy is used. It was much smaller in my case cause I had nowhere near enough energy, so it's pretty much a shield that will save someone for a split second. For now at least. Kurogari. Light trap, a circle of light that when stepped on stuns the opponent briefly depending on strength. JVS. Writer. J. Wow, we're just killing off characters now. Writer, I do what I want, if I felt like killing Chopper one day I would. He's emergency rations. J. What? No. How could you? Why would you do something so evil? Writer, calm down, I was kidding. I like Chopper too much to let him die, that's my guy right there. J. Well, this better not be a habit. No more killing randoms. Writer, oh, there's one more to kill, maybe. I haven't decided yet, actually maybe two. One pretty popular enemy and the other being a side character that can make a future enemy much stronger. J. I swear you're just trying to run up our deaths. We can't come back forever, can we? Writer, nope. Die enough times and it's bye-bye for you too. Good luck. Until next chapter. I have a much needed chapter coming up next. Also no new abilities till Grand Line, sorry about that. Extra points. Nami gets a devil fruit, Zoro gets a sword capable of producing flames. With all the Straw Hats getting stronger, what does this mean for their enemies? What is Nami's power? I already know, but can anyone guess it before it's revealed? How will Zoro's techniques change now that he has a second permanent sword? Finally, where the hell is Jason? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, subscribe to my channel for more fan fictions like this, and goodbye.